Hello, this is the week of June 1st through June 5th, and this is This Week in Science. Before we tell you about this week, I want to make a public service announcement about your iPads, okay? If you are having trouble with any videos or things aren't loading, there is a very high likelihood that your iPad is over capacity. That means that you have too many videos and pictures and selfies, duck face and all that stuff, downloaded apps, whatever it may be. So I have sent in the updates last week ways to check to see if your iPad is running too full. If it's too full, it can't carry anymore, So check that out to see if you can clear out a few things. Now, this week you will have a couple of tasks, and think about this. This will be your last week of assignments being put out for you for science and for all your classes. So this week we will have you doing a lab which is called the Sublimation Investigation Demonstration Lab. You will also have another mini game just about the states of matter. There is another lab that is the Ice Cream Dream Lab. We'll have our final matter test. And then the Friday this week, you will have an opportunity to turn in the final extra credit challenge. So let's look into each one of these assignments a little more in depth. All right, folks, so your assignments this week are right here on the side. So the first one you'll be doing is a lab video, which is the Sublimation, Observation, and Investigation. It's a demonstration lab. So we'll check that out in a moment. You have the mini game this week of the states of matter. You get to pick which game you do. We have the lab, the Ice Cream Dream. The test is all about matter. And then you also on Friday have the final engineering challenge. So let's look into each one. Now, let me tell you this before I do. You have these assignments. Some people choose to do all of them in a day. Some people choose to spread them out. It's completely up to you, but I suggest you do them in the order that are on here. So let's look at the first one, the lab video sublimation. So when you click on it, let me go back real quick. On your iPads, the side link does not work on these Edpuzzle type videos. So it says must open using a link in center of Schoology, just like that. Okay, if you're on a computer, it works, but iPads, I don't know why. It's something with the application. So when you click on that, the lab sublimation video, you would watch it. I have a special guest with me this week, Mr. Doherty, and you will get to watch him and I use dry ice to explain the difference between sublimation and deposition. And I'm going to do a couple of different tricks or different lab activities in here. So be sure to watch that. Also, be sure to watch the entire video through. It's the only way you will get the points for it. So you have to watch the whole 17-minute and 11-second video and answer the questions as they pop up to get the credit for this activity. Tuesday's activity is set up for a mini game, States of Matter. That means you get to pick one game required, or you can play all 6 of the games by just clicking on the picture. Below, there's a description on what the game is all about or what your character's mission and goal is. You have Matter of Escape, Matter Splatter, Matter Popper. We also have the States of Matter and their structure. You have the State Shifter, States of Matter. And then Final Approach, States of Matter. Some people like to just play the games randomly because it's a good way to get your mind off what's going on in our crazy world right now. We can talk about that later. But these are all just fun games, a review of things that you have read and done. So be sure to do that. At the end of your game, you need to take a screenshot, not cropped, of the entire picture of your iPad. So I can see everything from the date and time, everything on there. Do not crop it, okay? So that's what we need to see to get the points for this activity. Our next activity is a lab that I set up called the Ice Cream Dream Lab. So I have a tutorial link right here that can take you to my tutorial link. It'll take you to the Ice Cream Dream in a Bag. Basically, I have all of the recipe and directions. There's a bunch of other videos that go along with it. But if we go back to Schoology, there's a video of me I want you to check out going through the lab. Okay? Basically, all you need is if you can get some heavy whipping cream or half and half. Heavy whipping cream's a little better. Milk, sugar, and then if you put some salt with ice together, there's the directions are there. You're going to make a delicious treat, okay? Once done, I want you to take a selfie with your ice cream in your hand in the discussion thread and tell us how it turned out. Now, if for some reason you do not have these materials, you can't get them for some reason, it's okay. You will not be penalized, but you will be rewarded if you can. Okay, so you won't get a missing or negative points, but if you are able to do it, you will earn the points and it just helps your grade. It will not hurt if you're not able to do it, but I encourage everybody to do it so we can share one last bowl of ice cream with each other. On Thursday, I have a setup for our test about matter. It's right there on that little blue puzzle piece. So that's going to be talking about all of the states of matter and how those states change. So if we're talking about how solids, the particles, look at my hands, they're like the solid particles, really close together, very strong bond. That's a solid. They vibrate in place. That's how they move. Okay. Now to change this into a liquid, you have to add thermal energy to melt it. Okay. And then it turns from a solid to a liquid. If you keep adding thermal energy, those particle bonds weaken from going sliding around each other like a liquid and they fly around like a gas. That's vaporization. And we had two types, evaporation and boiling. Now you could do the opposite, and from a liquid, from the gas, you could turn it back into a liquid through condensation, and then you could keep taking away thermal energy and freeze it back to a solid. You have to know those things. So I would use my notes. Make sure you have that flow chart from matter that you took last week and your definitions for the key vocab from the last two notes checks, and you're going to be A-okay. On Friday's activity, well, it's basically for those of you who have done the extra credit challenge. I will be looking at your extra credit energy cars. So you could have used a mousetrap, the spool eraser, or anything else that makes a car move, changing potential energy into kinetic energy. Okay, now I have a tutorial at 6th grade science units with links for the spool eraser if you choose to use that. There were directions on how to make a mousetrap car, or you can look that up yourself. But this is a great way to get extra credit. Friday is also designed for anybody who has missing work. If you have missing assignments, it is a very prudent, which is a big 6th grade word, which is a good idea, wise, to get all of those things in. Okay, this way we can get you the highest score so I can give you the best grade possible. I would love to award everybody an A, but you have to earn it. Now, some of you have done a great job to earn it, but some of us need to do a little bit more of the assignment. So make sure you're going through, taking your time, getting those things taken care of. Any missing work on Friday? All right, friends, so we have our 5 tasks or a few tasks for the week. You have your sublimation lab. We have the mini game set up. We have the ice cream lab. We have our final test of matter, just about matter stuff. And then you have Friday to either make up missing work or the engineering challenge, or you can do both. Now, you don't necessarily have to wait till any certain day to get everything done. I might not turn the test on yet, but make sure you go ahead, make sure you have all your work and all that stuff. And I reminded you about the test. Look at your notes, use the flow chart, all of that information to do your best, okay? It would have been great to do a lot of these labs in class. The sublimation lab's a really fun one, so if your parents can and are willing to get dry ice from Kowalski's or something later on, it doesn't have to be today, you guys can do that. That's a fun one. The ice cream will be a fun one, things like that. So check that out. And then if you need anything, send me a Schoology message. And if you're trying to turn in a late interactive Learn 360 assignment or something that you're uploading, you might as well just send it to me in a Schoology message so that I can see it, because if it pops up in updates, it might get missed. I'm going to try my best to really look hard to try to find those, but if you have an old assignment that you need to upload, let me know so I can look for it, okay? And we'll have a good time. So this is your last week of science work. And then next week on Monday will be the last day I can take in work because I have to do my grades on Tuesday morning. So try to get all of your missing work in no later than Monday at 3 or so, okay? All right, it's been a pleasure having you all in class. I kind of wish we could have done this in school. The world is crazy right now. It's just how you act during this. So stay strong. We'll get through it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the hallways next year as big 7th graders. Have a great day, great week, and a great summer. I'll talk to all of you soon. Bye-bye.